Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kat Timpf Show. I am Kat Timpf, and my guest today is Tyrus. Tyrus, you were a wrestler, you were Snoop Dogg's bodyguard. Now you're doing commentary on the Gutfeld Show.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Absolutely. That's just what I don't. Okay, so like the whole Snoop Dogg bodyguard thing. You like. So by the way, everybody, you can't see this right now, but I'm like, thankfully small. I'm like, this is a very small studio, and I'm like backed into a corner so that you can actually fit. What was like the craziest thing that you ever encountered?
You know, the first thing about Snoop is a lot of people don't realize how much of a family guy he is. So there's not a lot of wildness. Like I was bodyguarding for Dad Snoop, trying to be right Snoop. But on our concert tours, things got a little rough a few times, and my role basically was I was the bearer of bad news, and I enjoyed being that guy. So I liked ruining your day. I loved telling you weren't getting a picture or we're not stopping. Like that was my thing, and to the point where he would be so entertained by it that he would set things up just to see me shut them down. So we were in Russia, and it was kind of we were in Moscow, and Russian fans can't really be like normal fans. Like it's almost like they're scared to cheer or cut loose or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. But then there's the other ones who think like because they're in some kind of mafia or something there that they're entitled to anything they want. So he hadn't even gone on yet. He was backstage. He was in a little dressing room, and I was standing outside the door, and he's like, I'm gonna take a nap and just wake me up, when it's time to go on. I'm like, yeah, I got you. And this guy came up, and I'd never seen a suit like this before, but it was a velour suit. Not a jumpsuit, a velour suit.
Yeah.
Crushed white velvet suit with a vest, with a turquoise velvet tie.
Nice.
It looked like the hottest thing you've ever had to wear in your entire life.
Yeah.
He had long hair and a fade.
Oh, my God.
He had sunglasses. He had every accessory you could possibly have, about 15 chains. And he told me that, hey, I got the best weed in Russia, and I'm going to smoke with Snoop. I'm like, I'm happy for you that you had the best weed in Russia, but you're not going to see Snoop today. And I don't even know where he's at. And he's like, he's in there. I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I know people.
Yeah.
And you could disappear if I don't get what I want.
That is so weird.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I'm the decoy.
Yeah.
Snoop's not really here with me.
Yeah.
He's down there.
Yeah.
And I probably should tell us that there's doors, and there's like a little bar with curtains, and you go down these flight of stairs, and there's a steep flight of stairs to get to the stage. And they covered that flight of stairs with a curtain. Yeah. I was like, he's this way. So he followed me. He's like, sorry, my friend. Sorry I had to go there with you, but, I'm sort of somebody. I'm a rapper. And I was like, yeah, I feel you. I mean, the suit says it all. I should have known better. My bad. We got to the curtain. I opened the curtain up, and he was like, there's nothing but stairs there. And I was like, yeah. And I shoved him down the stairs.
Oh, my God.
Closed the curtain. When I shoved him, it was pretty hard, so his shoes came off. So one of his shoes, was it a shove or a punch? It was something like that. It was like a whop. And he went down the stairs, and I didn't notice that his shoes came off him when I hit him. So he went down the stairs and apparently wasn't able to get back up. And I went back to my post, and then Snoop's manager came over to me and goes, do I need to ask what the shoes are about? Or the moaning, crying guy at the bottom of the stairs? I'm like, I don't know, boss. I've been here the whole time. And he was like, I saw everything.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that dude?
I'm sure, wool velvet suits didn't catch on, so I'm assuming he's still rapping with his awesome weed in Russia. I'm not going back there, though. So
yeah. How long did you do that for?
I was with Snoop off and on for about 3 years.
Okay.
I left him for a little while to go to WWE. Then I came back for a year and a half, and that's when things really took off with me and him. That's when I did the TV show with him, and I was coaching the football team, and I really kind of came my own as a bodyguard at that time.
How does something like that start?
In my life, everything starts with a fight. And usually a horrible fight. Somebody half my size decides they're a giant killer, and they lose horribly in a club, because I used to run clubs in LA, and I had a crew, and we were the 6'8". You can't really punch guys because you leave bruises, but you can smack them.
Okay.
And when you smack somebody, if you smack them just right, they will go asleep.
Wow.
So,
I have maybe I have no experience with this.
Right. Well, if you're ever in a situation for a smack, aim at the temple. Whack, and they go to sleep. And Snoop's managers and stuff were there, and they saw it. And then one of his bodyguards came over and was basically like, "Hey, you looking for work?" I was like, "Sure." So I started working like overnights every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then he just came out one day. He was like, we started. He was a Laker fan. I'm a Celtic fan.
Yeah.
And everyone else kind of kissed his ass a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell no, I don't want to go to no damn Laker game. Let somebody else work that.
Yeah.
I'm a Celtic fan.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce is the man. And then, next thing you know, we had bets, and it just kind of took off from there. And then I went to wrestle, and then I came back, and it just kind of progressed. I started coaching for the football team, the offensive line and defensive line. And I think that's where it was like, hey, this is my guy. So it just kind of went from there.
How long did you do the wrestling thing for?
Oh man, I've been wrestling between WWE and Impact Wrestling since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 10 years. It's crazy. And that was just basically, 'cause I was a teacher before all this.
Yeah,
I was a history teacher. So, and then all of a sudden, I played football, and then after football, I was subs at night just to make extra twos and fews, and then it just kind of took off. Wrestling again happened over a fight. So somebody saw me throw some guys out of a club, and this guy named Tommy Dreamer, who was developmental talent manager for the WWE, he was like, "You should do that on TV. You're funny how you talk to them while you smack them around. I enjoy that." So
yeah, don't ever let anyone tell you not fighting gets you nowhere.
Yeah, violence can help sometimes, but it's a different time than it is now. So
right, what are wrestling fans like?
What are wrestling fans like? Well, there's two kinds of wrestling fans. There's kids and family.
Right.
They're awesome. We love them. And then have you ever seen Deliverance?
No.
Okay, you should probably, it's an old Burt Reynolds movie about inbred people in the South who do bad things to well, not Burt Reynolds because he's Burt Reynolds, but all his friends they got raped. They spend a lot of time on the computer.
Yeah.
They don't understand that what we do is like a movie. It's like theater.
Right.
Right. And sometimes the bad guy loses at the end, which happens in all movies.
Right.
Captain Kirk beat you like that. And I will have on my Instagram and Twitter is like, "How could you lose, bro? Like, how could you lose?"
And they're taking it
I'm like,
so
"Sir,
seriously.
you're 46 years old."
And they're like emotionally
And you don't want to blow the magic trick, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I feel like you have to sit down with them and be like, "Here's the hat.
Yeah.
There's a false bottom of and that's where the rabbit comes up. I'm not actually pulling a rabbit out of my hat, Well, I'm just saying if I was you, I'd be champion. I don't always grown single men who spend their days, on the internet talking about how they're going to date female wrestlers and they're going to be a wrestler themselves and a rider themselves. They have a million plans, but they never really do anything.
Have you had any like stalkery type females?
I've had a stalker since 2010.
Persistent.
I actually have a book coming out, Notes from a Stalker.
Wow, okay.
I'm taking all of her tweets and messages and printing them out in a coffee table thing and put Notes from a Stalker, and it's going to be great.
Okay, that's good. Give me one example.
Oh my God, we fight so crazy. I just can't stay mad at you. I still love you. You still love me? Of course you do. This is so crazy. It's like I spend my whole day talking to you. I wonder what you're doing right now. I wonder what you taste like right now. Oh my God.
What do you taste
Thinking of you. I got your new action figure today. Want to know what I did with it? I'll send you a picture.
Oh my God.
It was horrible.
Ew. And it's like just no response.
No, that poor action figure didn't
deserve
need
that.
to go where he went.
Ew.
Yeah. But I have a sense of humor about things. So when I'm finished with the book, I think at the end I'll write like, huh? And just to see what it will do, but I'm waiting. So I got to finish my things I did with my dad.
Oh, okay.
It's like things I did with my dad, ? Another coffee book thing I'm working with. I didn't have a dad when I was growing up, so I had some great top 10 things you did when you're waiting for your dad to come back and he doesn't come back. Like one of the games we used to play is hide.
Uh-huh.
But there's no seek, so it's just me hiding.
Dad.
Yeah, and my dad, so I've been working on that and just getting on the illustrations on that. I have to finish that up because that's what's going to make it funny. But
well, you got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, I have a lot of things.
What else are you doing? You're doing like movie stuff.
Yeah, I just finished SuperCon, the movie with Mike Epps and Russell Peters and can we cuss something? We can't cuss.
Yeah, absolutely.
John fucking Malkovich.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's the only way you can say his name.
Yeah.
And he walked by me, and I literally was like, "That was fucking John." You can't say, "Hey, John." John
What's up,
Malkovich,
John?
how are you? Like, you just can't do it. And then he sat there and he's staring at me, and I'm like, fuck, he's staring at me. Like, because this is my third movie, but like, it's John Malkovich. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and then he was like, you wrestle? I'm like, he knows who I am. Like,
oh my God.
And then we ended up having a conversation, and we weren't like, he would talk to me, and people would come up to me like, what did he say to you?
Yeah.
And I was like, actor stuff. I really can't, I
Oh
really
my
can't get it. It's a
God.
thespian thing. I really can't get into it. But the cast was cool. Like Mike Epps and I, we had worked together before when I was with Snoop. We did a show called Dog After Dark on MTV. You didn't see it. And so he was, and Russell Peters, I enjoyed his work, but I finally got a chance to actually meet him, and he's pretty cool. So, and then the legend, you've seen Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah, that I have.
Right. And you know the prison guard.
Right.
He is my favorite actor.
Yeah.
He's like the man.
Yeah.
And he's also the voice of, he's a voice of a popular cartoon character that I had no idea.
Who?
Mr. Krabs.
No way.
Yeah.
How does that, really?
Yeah, that's him.
That's crazy.
People call him Nancy. His name's Clancy, but he's like the coolest dude I've ever met in my life. We just talked baseball the whole time on set, and this is a really funny movie. And I play a character called Callahan, and I'm basically a bodyguard with some secrets.
Nice.
Mike Epps' brother-in-law. So it's a pretty funny little movie about SuperCon, which has become such a, all the Comic-Cons and everything have become such a big thing. I mean, they're even at the DNC. I mean, Princess Leia showed up.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a kick out of that because there was probably a SuperCon down the street. So she's probably just killing two birds with one stone, just
might as well just show up to the DNC
and then
also.
go cosplay.
Didn't you have like a reality thing that you were maybe doing? Or
yeah, I started to do a reality thing, and I'm just not a fan of reality TV. It was a tough decision not to do it, but I was just looking at anybody in reality TV who's ever won an Emmy or really got their acting career going, and the answer is none.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And I would just want to be positive. And unfortunately, with reality TV, if you're not throwing wine bottles and champagne at each other and trying to sleep with each other's wives and stuff, it's not good TV.
Right. Wasn't it supposed to be like you and your ex-wife?
Yeah, we were supposed to. Well, yeah, we were supposed to be like the odd couple and like who's the boss or whatever. But we just decided that to keep our life private.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary because what they try to do, even like on these for example, dating shows, they don't actually try to match people who are good together. They try to match people who they think are gonna.
Well, they want conflict and drama.
Exactly.
And we weren't about that at all.
Right.
I'm not gonna have arguments and like scream and yell at each other on TV. Now, I'm not a screamer anyways. I'm a leaver. Like if I get in an argument, I'm taking a walk.
Right.
Or I'm punching drywall. Like let me go. And my daughter's like that. She's like, although she does the thing where she looks for stuff to throw when she gets mad, and I can't get mad at her because I do the same thing.
I've done that.
I'll be like, oh. And I'll throw a remote or something like
I've
that.
Absolutely done that. I've absolutely throw things. With me, it's not that dangerous, though, because...
No, I throw it down. It's down. It's a display.
You're not throwing it. Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's like even if you look at shows like even like The Real World or any of that crap, it's like they just pack these strangers together and they just give them all the booze they want.
Yeah, and they just slide insults and videotape people when they're drunk. So what do you think of such and such? I mean, she's okay, but she's a little on the heavy side for me.
Yeah.
Hey, look what he said about you. He said you're fat. And then, and plus... reality TV's hurt TV.
Yeah.
I think it's not special to be on TV anymore.
Right.
Like if it was like 20 years ago and I was like, I'm on the Greg Gutfeld show, all my friends would be going nuts.
Yeah.
Like regardless of whether they're a gangster, thug, or whatever, they would be like, yo, I'm checking you out. You're on TV tonight, bro. You on cable, son? You on cable?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, for real? Whatever. I got a podcast. You wanna be on? I got, I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, I got pregnant at the right time and now I'm on TV.
Yeah, oh yeah, who's the father? I always love that, which I think is a horrible look at the mother.
Yeah.
Because I'm a guy and I don't remember everything. I forget my car keys.
Right.
But I know who I bang. Like, oh yeah, Wednesday was. Yeah. Oh my God, that's what happened.
That's my kid. Yeah.
It's either him or like 8 other guys. Like, what was your week like?
I know. That's what I think too. Like there was like, I mean, I didn't have cable growing up because my parents didn't want me to be corrupted or whatever. And then I just wound up watching a lot of Maury. And it's like, she's back to test guy number 21. I'm like, how? You banged 21 dudes in the same week?
The same. And you know what? It's great is they're always so sad.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, if it was me, like if it was roles were different, I'm sitting there with 4 kids, and I'd be like, I don't know, man. I'll just keep searching. There was this one dude, but they always fall on the ground and cry.
Yeah.
And they're so devastated, and they're so hurt, and they're such the victim.
And then the grandma's like, I told you.
Yeah. Oh, it's always the grandma. But, and the guy's reaction when it's not him is always my favorite, because it's always jubilation. And even if they're not religious, they thank God.
Yeah.
And they're just like, then they're cool with her. Guys are at least cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you find him. Deuces. You're not getting my money. I'm out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think it's killed TV. I think it's made it harder for like real talented people to get like the ratings and credit they deserve, because there's just so much crap on TV.
It's like, oh, you have a drug addiction. Oh, you have a problem. Oh, you're, and I'm part of the problem. I've seen every episode of Teen Mom too.
Well, because we like car accidents.
Yeah.
That are worse than our lives.
Right.
And just it's a microcosm of like everything. Like our society now is no consequences.
That's true.
We'll probably talk about it, when we do the show today, but like the whole Bernie thing.
Yes.
It used to be when you got beat or you lost, you got me, good game.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We'll burn you to the ground. Like it's so bad. Like I honestly think that's what cost Hillary the election. I think it's a lot like George Bush Sr. and Ross Perot. I think it's the same thing. The Bernie fans are not going to vote for her. They're just not going to vote.
They're not, or some of them are going to vote for Gary Johnson.
Yeah, they'll probably go independent. If you may, I don't know. Trump keeps.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I would rather him come out and say he's an alcoholic and he just got drunk and went on a rant, because he's just talking himself out of the election. He's literally talking himself out of the election, and Hillary's giving it away because she's just. Even though the DNC I thought was pretty, like there's some pretty powerful speeches in there, but then she's got to nail it home, and she doesn't.
She doesn't. She never does. She was like the worst part of the DNC.
The best. They should have ended on Barack Obama and just walked out, because like when he hit the Ginger Rogers with Walking on Heels, everyone was like, "Oh my!" He's like a rap song. He killed it.
And Michelle was amazing.
Yep. And there was some good, and then there was some that weren't so good, but it just. And then she gets up there, and it's just.
I know. Do you think she wakes up every morning like, oh my God, I've been in politics my whole life, and I'm like gonna maybe lose to the host of The Apprentice?
Yeah, not just that. I think because and I'll give her the, because I think she gets bashed a lot. Being in politics or in the people business for 40 years,
yeah,
she doesn't have a lot of. She's have some glaring mistakes, but if you look at for 40 years, it's not that bad. And it hasn't been easy for women in politics.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
And just because she probably, and I just don't see how the votes are going to come down. I just think the Bernie people feel jilted. I think the whole superdelegate thing.
Well, and also like the DNC leaks and all that, which I
mean,
can understand.
Like the Mean Girls thing. But things like that have always happened. Mm-hmm. People have, just like if we're voting for like who's the coolest on the Gut Feel show, and I'm like, I'm voting for you. I don't really like, Greg. And then it gets out, but it's my choice. Those things before was like, it's part of the process. Now, every time something is wronged, no one's allowed to be wrong. Nothing, oh my God, it's a scandal. It's a whole thing. It couldn't be that he just didn't have enough votes. And and they won't accept that. Like, that's where things have changed in this country, because it used to be there was dog fights for political office. But when it was over, it was over.
Yeah.
Like, like the Republican Party.
Same thing going on over there.
Cruz, like, I mean, I gotta give him props though.
Right.
Took some cojones to do what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for him to use the whole thing on his wife, sir, I'm not in the business of doing business, or in the habit of doing business with people who insult my wife and father. That's not why you did it.
Right.
Just say, look, I don't know if he's gonna make it, so I want to be the one to say, I told you so you'll vote for me in 2020.
I had to respect it in a way though.
I did. It was gangster. He walked in his house. He walked in his house and pissed on his couch and then walked out.
Everyone's booing him, and then he just keeps going.
Yeah, and he just kept and Donald Trump coming out only cemented it more for him, because he was like, you had to come out your chair because I'm about to dish you, and they'll vote with your conscience and stuff, which is a backhanded, basically saying like vote for Hillary or whoever you think is right with your heart, because this guy's not a good guy. And like I said, but Donald Trump hasn't really done anything. Like, every time someone's throwing a punch at him, he comes right back.
Right.
And even at the DNC, they made jokes about, listen, I'll say something about him and he'll tweet, and then he does it. And I think he's just, at some point, he needs to, like, we've established the fact that he's tough. We've established the fact that doesn't take any nonsense. But let's start getting some plans together.
Right.
Let's start talking about something, what you're going to do in your first 100 days of office.
Right.
If he started doing things like that, I don't think this would be a close election.
Yeah, I know. It's like everyone's like, oh, we need to defeat terrorism. It's like, yeah, hot take, but like how? Like, what do you want to do?
How are you going to do it? What are you gonna, and not just that. And I think the whole, and I really don't like hearing that America is not good and great. And I really hate that the world's hearing us say that because it's not true. Like, everyone still wants to come here. Our military is still number one. We kick everybody. I mean, we always put one arm behind our back. But if we ever went full throttle on somebody, there wouldn't be nothing left. Like our country is still is great. Will probably always be great just because of difference of opinions and stuff. But we did have a Republican Congress, and we did, so they controlled, like, not every agenda got done. I didn't always agree with Barack, but I didn't always disagree with him either. And I just think we've gotten away from all that. Has become so black and white and just like scare everybody, and can't step out your house because ISIS is going to get you, or a prejudiced cop's going to shoot you, like, or an angry African American is going to come get you, or an illegal alien rapist is going to come get. I mean,
they're going to get you.
Yeah, and it's not like that.
I know.
America's not like that. It's still the place to be, and I hate that because I feel like, and I travel a lot. Like, I travel everywhere. And guitar, when I went to guitar, like, they was like, America, whoo, you guys, what's going on over there? Like, they're not like, oh, down with Trump. They think it's hilarious.
That's what I've heard from most people, most countries.
Like,
are you guys for real?
Like, they're laughing because, and then they see all the name calling and stuff like that, and it's just we've lowered ourselves. Presidential election is a most important job in the United States, but I don't think it needs to be done in the way like it has turned into with just every time you disagree with somebody, you call them names, and you just we're not talking about anything to make changes or whatever, like, we're just fighting. And it's become a wrestling match.
And then the fear, like, back to the fear-mongering thing, like, talking about our military, we need more. It's like we are by far the biggest, most powerful military
already. Our military is good. We don't need any more military.
No, I agree.
We need some classes with kids on iPads can do the same thing that kids in China and Japan are doing.
You're right.
Like, those are the things that we need, and I don't know if that's a liberal or conservative thing, but, like, that should be a universal thing. Like, our infrastructure is a mess. But there's been with Congress, and that's another thing too. Like, Barack Obama, like, he's done some good things in Congress, but there has never been a president that has just been so I'm not working with you.
Yeah.
And it's hard for. And here's the thing for me: when I remember where I was when Barack Obama got elected, and for me, it wasn't just because he was mixed like me, and it wasn't just because he was black, but for me, it was like fair.
Yeah.
Like, you can no longer say in this country, just because I'm black, I can't get ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's not true. We've held the highest office. Every major job in this country, there's a brother there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I hate, like, with, like, everything that's gone down, for me, like, and Barack was fair. I never considered him a black president. He didn't push black agendas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't make Atlanta the new capital of the United States. You know what I'm saying? He didn't change the flag to purple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't, and we didn't get a basketball court in front of the White House. Like, it wasn't anything like the stereotypes and the fear mongering that came from him. And then the opposition to Barack Obama has created such a trickle down hate that I think Donald Trump, coming into this election, he saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to ride with this.
Yeah.
And this was a lot bigger than people thought.
I thought when Trump first started running, wow, this is funny.
I did too. I was wearing shirts and stuff.
I remember
Trump
that.
was cracking up like, this is awesome.
I remember that.
I thought Jeb Bush was a rap. And then I was like, okay.
What is happening?
And then the Republican Party's falling apart. And I'm watching more politics now than I ever have before. And I can't watch MSNBC, and I can't watch, like, some of the talk shows just go too far.
Yeah.
And then I can't watch CNN because everything they do is breaking news.
Oh, my God, I know.
Why is it every time a speaker is on about breaking news, Barack Obama speaks up next? We know he's coming up next.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not breaking news.
This has been scheduled for 3 days.
Like, it's not breaking news. I'm so sick of breaking news and alerts.
Yeah, like the New York Times, you see when there was that alert about, like, how many almonds Obama eats every night before he goes to bed. That's not a news alert.
That's creepy.
That's unnecessary information.
It's creepy. You eat all the almonds you want.
Speaking of eating, I'm gonna do my thing now. Green Chef's USDA certified organic meal kits make it easy to cook healthy and feel great about where your food comes from by delivering everything you need to cook healthy, delicious dinners, and it's sent right to your door. You don't have to go anywhere. It's organic. It's non-GMO ingredients, pre-chopped, pre-measured. You don't have to chop or measure, okay? They help you get dinner on the table in an average of 30 minutes, which is 50% faster than any other meal kit. Step-by-step recipes, instructions, photos, plating instructions if you care about your plate. I just got plates, real plates, not paper plates. I've lived in my apartment since February. Just got plates, so that'd be very exciting to me to put them on my nice plates. No shopping, no planning, no commitment. You can skip weeks, cancel whenever you want. You can do you can switch between meal plans. You can do paleo, vegetarian, gluten-free, vegan. If you're cooking for yourself, family, whatever you want. And there's a special offer for my listeners. You can enjoy 4 free meals when you sign up at greenchef.com at greenchef.com/KAT. Greenchef.com/KAT as in me, Kat. Is that good?
That's good.
Did I do a good job?
You know what? I got hungry.
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
And I like plates, although I'm more of a paper plate guy because I can just throw it all away.
I know, and I love
dishes.
that. And I have a
dishes.
dishwasher, and I live alone, and they're really stacking up in the sink. And it's all I gotta do is put them in the damn dishwasher. But
if they made dishwashers taller, I'd probably more up, but I have to bend down and go I have to be hunched over to put everything in there and get everything out. And
how tall are you?
I'm 6'8", so and I'm 6'8" by 3'9" or 4 feet with my shoulders. So I'm just a big Umber Hulk. I'm in the way of everything. Everywhere I walk, it's crowded. When
you're on a plane, does whoever has to sit next to you, do they get pissed?
No, because I'm there's different kinds of big.
Right, you're not a fat ass.
Yeah, so I have. So I'm jacked, but I have the amazing ability to shrink into stuff, and I'm a leaner. I get the window and I sit like this, and then at some point they're like, "Do you want that armpit?" No, this is my thing.
Yeah.
And I fall asleep. I think it's because of the contortion in my body, but there's always what makes me laugh is when somebody is a little chubby self and her big ass sitting next to me, and she's like, oh. I'm like, for real? It's just me. It's just me. You have an extension on, honey. I have room. You have an extension, but he's just so big. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. And you're in a middle seat, lady.
Yeah.
Be courteous, aisle it, or stand by for a window. Don't sit in the middle. But I always find those people when I travel.
Yeah.
Being big is tough. I was all like I said, I have a new long sleeve shirt. I was all excited about it, and then it's hot and humid here today. So after 2 steps of walking to get here, it's now it's underwater.
Yeah, it's really gross outside. It's really bad.
It's mucky, and I don't know my way around New York too much yet, but I've been here enough to where I should know a little better. But I always kind of stay right by Fox Building.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
But
I mean, I'm shocked that you're able to fit into that chair.
Like I said,
you can shrink.
Like I said, I think maybe I had an ancestor was a gerbil or a hamster. If I see it, I can usually fit in it. Mm-hmm. But I also wear baggy clothes.
Yeah.
Because I've never walked into a store shopping oh wow, that guy has my figure. Bro, where do you get your clothes? It's always he's either taller than me or wider than me. There's never a guy I'm like, hey, we're the same size. So no one's designed clothes for me. So if I want it to fit my arms and my shoulders, I have to have a parachute shirt, and if I want to have the inseam right, I have to have a super waist. But
were you always just a big dude and just fighting?
No, actually, when I was little, I think this is where I got the wit from. I was small at first. I actually held the kindergarten sign in my school picture.
Oh.
And then I was just kind of a smart ass but I was tough. So guys kind of left me alone. And then, I don't know, I think it was the reruns of the Incredible Hulk show that I saw on Late Night Nick or something. And I was like, I want to be big too. Because there's no one really big in my family.
Uh-huh.
And I think maybe that's what it was, or it's just willpower, or tired of getting spanked or whatever, so I just grew. My brother's he's 5'11", 6 feet.
Where are you from?
I was born in Lynn, Massachusetts, but I grew up in California.
Okay. What part?
Grew up in Pasadena, Tahunga, and more recently I was down in Venice, Miracle Mile.
Cool. Yeah.
Venice Beach is that's my spot.
I love Venice Beach, man.
Gold's Gym is where I hang out at.
Oh yeah.
Lifetime free membership there, so I'm real excited about that.
Venice Beach, if you go to the beach, whatever you're doing is fine.
Have you ever actually gone to Venice Beach and got in the water?
Yeah.
Really? Because most of the time I never make it off the flea market strip and watching people. Then I'm a people watcher, so I just find a spot and I just sit and watch everybody.
I used to live like a mile from there.
Okay, so you were like, yeah.
I was always
I lived in
there.
Miracle Mile, like 1 block from the La Brea Tar Pits. So I was literally a hop, skip, and a jump. And my buddy lived right off the beach, so we would just meet up every day, train down there, and then we'd go bounce clubs at night. So pretty much started every day. Like I'm at the Firehouse more than Norm Macdonald is. Like that's my little hangout to eat my super workout food, which is really fattening anyways.
How much do you eat? Like
okay, you know what? This is funny because I used to eat a lot. And there was this, and then I used my mutant eating powers to beat John Cena. We were in Texas, and they had this place, a big Texas Roadhouse, and they had a 72-ounce steak. And if you eat the steak, everyone's meal's free, and you get a hat and a pitcher or whatever.
Yeah.
And John Cena's kind of a bully about competition stuff. Like he can't be beat, and he's really hard to beat in bets and drinking and stuff. He's pretty good at everything, and he was like, I got $600, says nobody can eat that steak. And I'm like,
come on.
And I looked at the other abused wrestlers who are like always wanted to beat him, but they just can't.
Yeah. I'm
like, this is for you guys. And I've always been the rebel, kind of a smart ass in the locker room. And I was like, you're on. And he was like, cool, I'm taking all bets. He took all bets. So I think by the total before the steak started, it was like, I think it was up to like almost $2,000 that he had bet everybody, right? And there was a doctor there. I'm like, any tips? He's like, just drink water between this. Eat the bread first. Eat the salad. Like, 'cause you have to eat this. There's 2 shrimps, piece of bread, a salad, and this giant steak. And the only thing
you can swear it's fine.
And the only thing is I didn't have to eat the gristle, because if I would have had to eat the gristle, game over, because I can't eat fat.
Yeah,
I'll throw up.
It's
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
fat and oysters, can't do it. And you have to eat it in less than an hour.
I was just gonna ask if there was a time limit.
And
holy hell.
I'm like going away, and I'm like not even talking to anybody, and he's like trying to psych me out and stuff. And then Alex Riley walks up to me and he's like, this is for all of us. This is our championship. And I looked at him and I was like, you got it. And I did it. I wanted like, oh, they went to take a picture. I was like, no, I don't want any pictures.
Yeah.
Just the legend of what happened tonight is enough. And, Cena paid out all his debts and stuff. And some of the people who were kind of ass kissers didn't know they should accept the money. So they're like, I was like, I'll take it.
You gotta take
coward.
it.
And what's crazy is I dreamed about lions that night. I had probably the deepest sleep ever, but I woke up the most thirstiest. I was like so much salt from eating that much steak. But after that, I just didn't eat a lot anymore. I don't eat a lot now. And plus, I started when I was dieting, because I had gained some weight with Snoop. I was like a biscuit away from 500 pounds when I came back to WWE.
Why is that? Just...
He has no metabolism. Like, he burns everything, or his metabolism's through the roof. And he shops for food at 7-Eleven.
What?
Yeah, go to 7-Eleven and load up the fridge. So it's donuts, candy, Gatorade. Like, he eats junk food all day.
I always thought rich people ate rich people food.
No. He's hood rich. And
like, what does he eat? Like donuts?
Donuts, cookies, chips. Oh, In-N-Out. No pickles, just ketchup. Like, because I have to make runs all the time. And having a fat guy make runs is bad, because I'll order his food. And what else did he want? Oh, he wanted a double, and he wanted this because it's for him.
Yeah.
And then, a chocolate shake, and I was eating when he was eating. And he burns it off, and I'm sitting around watching him all day. So I'm expanding, but because my shoulders and my frame's so big, I see my big shoulders, and I'm like, oh, I'm all right. I look fine.
Yeah.
And I went to weigh back in, and I was 500 pounds. So then I went on a hardcore diet, and I was like, I'm not, because I'm not going to be able to do much of anything in the ring if I don't drop weight. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy either. And I just started training hard. I was at Hard Knock South, and that's where Cena's gym, and Rob McIntyre, I've been with him since 2010. And literally when we first met, he was like, how did you... He's just looking at me. And this is a guy with like no emotion. He's actually, you and him kind of have the same voice. And Rob McIntyre is very like, he's like a robot. He's like Terminator. He's like a genius. And he's just looking at me. And this guy is like perfectly built in his body. He has like, his muscles aren't too big. Like, he's just streamlined. He's a scientist. And he's like, how did you pass your physical? I'm like, I don't know. I just did. He's like, what are you going to do in our gym? I'm like, work out, not eat as much. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I've been there ever since, and dropped the weight, and then I did a portion control, and Sensible Portions, and I was doing their meal plan. I did their meal plan for 3 years, and they basically made my plate small. So, and their food was, because I tried paleo. I was on paleo for a while, but I just didn't have the energy. Like for me, it just wasn't, like my skin got weird. Like I just got really like, I lost the weight really fast, but I lost a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
So I needed more protein and stuff. And then they gave me the specific diet catered to me. And it just grew into what I am today. But I dropped, like I completely changed. Like I went back to how I looked when I played football.
Okay.
So I got lost from that, and now I'm kind of back. I'm still working on the gut, but.
Does Dad Snoop, like, does he party at all, or is he just like Dad
no,
Snoop?
he's a watcher.
Uh-huh.
He's like, he walks in like, hey, what's up? And then sits back and watches, and then he does some photos and stuff. And this is, like I said, I would imagine it's probably still the same today. Like I said, he's always been a laid back kind of cat. I think he might have got a bad rep back in the day just because of the people that he ran with. But Snoop's always kind of been like a common sense kind of guy.
Yeah.
I haven't always agreed with him with everything, but.
What have you ever gotten into a fight?
Oh, I mean, over football and stuff, yeah. Because like, I'm the damn head coach. I'm like, you stupid. What? No, I'm just saying, 23 power would be a lot better right now than 5 receivers trips deep on 4th and 1. Just saying, coach. Do you?
Yeah.
But he respected the fact that I knew what my job was to keep him safe, and while I was with him, we never had an incident.
Have you ever made anybody cry?
Like
a girl?
Like, have I made girls cry?
Well, no, I mean like with relation to Snoop. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
funny.
You want this? This is bad, and you probably won't like me. So
no, I'm sure I'll be fine.
So Snoop is doing a signing for some alcohol at a Costco, and it's like Lundy something and some kind of whiskey or whatever. Sucked. I didn't like it, but whatever. And he did an autograph signing. You buy the bottle, he signs the bottle, right? And I'm standing behind him. We're doing the thing. We're done. There's a line. This lady comes around the back, and like the manager let her in, and she almost got to Snoop, and she's like, her hand's shaking, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, you try to break my line? Nobody breaks my line.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like that.
Yeah.
And my partner, who's 7 feet tall, and we passed for brothers, although he's the ugly, big, tiny, he's an actor now, 7-foot actor now, but he's easily tricked. And he has you know how some people stutter and they say he says, so he's like, I was just watching her,
yeah.
And I didn't see, she's got a sick kid, bro, and we're both Jamaican, so I'm like, you blood clot, get over there.
Yeah.
And she's like, my son is at home dying of leukemia, and his last wish was for me to get a picture and autograph with Snoop.
But is that probably not true?
And I went, well, he's probably used to disappointment.
Oh, my God.
No.
But did she cry?
Get out. You can't have a picture. You cut in line.
That seems like BS to me.
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
And Snoop's manager, Kevin, is like, and I'm like, and she's like, but and what are you doing not by his bed? He's dying.
Yeah, I mean, and
you're
also,
a bad mom.
Why not just wait in line?
Yeah, you're not getting it.
Why not? Yeah.
Of all the things in the world that he wants on his last days, an autograph picture of you and Snoop is going to give him the strength to pull through.
Yeah, that's not.
How about you go find some remedy or something, or go to the Amazon and get him a root that might help him or something like that.
He has a special brand.
How about a toy or a hug,
He has a special brand of cancer that's only cured by Snoop autographs.
Yeah, Snoop dropped his head, put his arms over his head, and just started laughing and trying not to look like he was laughing.
Yep.
And Kevin's face turned bright red, and he was like, you're the meanest human being that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And what makes it bad is you enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love kids and I'm caring, but I hate bullshit. I hate when people use afflictions and stuff for benefit. There's not, even if your son had leukemia, it had nothing to do with you getting an autograph of Snoop at Costco.
Yeah, and being better than everyone else, because that's also assuming that everyone else in that line, none of them had any problems.
No, but it's an autograph. It's not going to change anything. And I always laugh when people ask me for an autograph because I'm like, it's not even my real name. I need an autograph. Here you go. But yeah, people like to do the stuff like that all the time. Or a girl was like, can you get this DVD to Snoop? It'll change his life. And I'm like, no.
I highly doubt that. What the hell would have been on that DVD to change his life?
Probably a really crappy song. Because because that's usually what it was. Like it was lots of that. But I did. I had some rules. Like I never smoked with Snoop the entire time I worked with him.
Really? Why is that?
I just didn't. I always felt like guys who did it around him, it was like a thing, and I just didn't. I smoked by myself with my friends.
Yeah.
He's not. I work for you. I'm not smoking with my boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'll get too honest. And be like, oh, you know what, man? I'm not really a fan of your music. I like Ice Cube. Because that happened. He was like, yo, I got my new album out. Yeah, that's cool. What, cuz? I'm like, I like Ice Cube.
Yeah, not the same.
Not really. I mean, you just rhyme with your name all the time.
He really does.
And he was like, what? But then he did have one song called Secrets that I thought was great. And whenever he asked me one time, what song you want to hear tonight at a concert? And I was like, I like New York, his diss song from Bad Boys in New York with Daz and Corrupt. But he did have some songs I liked. It just I wasn't overly just wasn't really a fan.
Yeah. What was with the Snoop Lion thing?
It's funny. My movie had come out in Toronto, No One Lives, and we had the time slot. We had the 8 p.m. time slot, and he was there, and that's what he's done, Snoop Lion. And in the Rastafarian world, a lion is like to call yourself lion is like deciding one day that I'm going to call myself Pope Tyrus. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And they weren't real happy about it.
Okay.
I'm guessing maybe the ratings were down a little bit. Maybe the bookings were a little slow. They had a documentary movie coming out that they were trying to push, so maybe a big buzz by changing the name, and everybody will go see the movie, and just kind of get him fresh start, And everyone talked about it. I don't know if they went and saw the documentary or not, but but he went back to
the dog.
the dog, so he went. That was my theory. And people, sometimes you get talked into things. I don't necessarily, or it was just some really strong weed, and he was like, you know what, dog? I'm going to be a lion. What do y'all think? Yeah, man. Yeah, let's be a lion. Let's do it, man.
Too many yes people.
Let's do a Jamaican album. Let's do reggae. Yeah, let's do reggae. We're from Long Beach. Let's do reggae.
Does he have like a lot of yes people around him? Like whatever he says is whatever.
He's got, Snoop's non-confrontational. So if he's got beef with you, you're going to find out from the second hand. He's not, he's very diplomatic like that. Unless you really, really fucked up, then you're going to get him in your face. But
I'm not even like that.
He's smart enough to figure out, he's always been those who's a yes man who keeps it real.
Yeah.
And usually the people that keep it real with him and tell him right, they stay on his team a lot longer than the yes men do. Because eventually the yes men are, I already know what I can do. You're not helping me. So there's a lot of changeover because guys can't separate between being a fan because let's face it, Snoop Dogg is the new Willie Nelson. I mean, he's everywhere. Willie Nelson was a part of everything, and that's kind of what Snoop's become. He's almost become a folk hero. And so to be surrounded by people who get what we call starstruck isn't good for business.
No, it's not.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah,
because they make mistakes. Like we had a bodyguard who woke him up one night to take a picture with him.
What?
Yeah. He had a bad nickname, too. It was Big Man. I'm like, that's your nickname?
Big Man. I'm
Good
a
job.
big man.
They call me Big Man. Everybody in this motherfucker is a big man. That was wonderful. You came up with that yourself?
Yeah.
Let me guess. You got a cousin named Tiny? Like,
yeah,
real
absolutely.
original, right?
Absolutely.
But he was also a rapper, and, so he was trying to get over.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
Stu was like, he just came in the room and took a selfie with me. Send him home.
Yeah.
And I was like, he did what? And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we always took, like I said, I always took my job very seriously. And it's probably why I was, left on the terms I left. I wanted more than to be a bodyguard.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a chance at wrestling and entertainment. And I'm glad I did it. And I had his blessing when I did it. And that's why in the WWE, my name was Brodus Clay because Brodus was his last name. So
oh, wow.
It was out of respect for him. I had a good about 30-minute talk with him about what I wanted to do. And he was like, go do it, man.
That's awesome.
So
for real.
Yeah, that was like real talk. He was a good dude.
Yeah. Well, we gotta wrap up because I gotta go get turned into Barbie for the show. I'm wearing a flannel still. And
I gotta wear a tough guy shirt.
Yeah, you do. So, is there anything you wanna promote?
Well, I'm not sure on the release date yet, but SuperCon is doing it. If you guys get a chance, check out Impact Wrestling on Pop TV. That'd be real cool.
And on Twitter, you're Brodus Clay.
I'm at Twitter. I'm on Brodus Clay. On Instagram, I'm Tyrus Smash. Hit me up.
All right, cool, everybody. Thanks for listening. We're all gonna die someday. All right, bye.
In our sleep.